Hey everybody, I'm in a beautiful redwood forest right now, and I'm here to bring you the second part of photo tips in the park. I never got to the last part, which was what's in the bag. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I hope you can hear me or see me. Any rate, you can see the forest behind me. There's that dark thing in the corner. Hey Bud from Texas. Hi Daniel. You can see that dark corner over here is a redwood tree that's got its heartwood burned out. But that happens to redwoods all the time and they still survive. So today I'm going to tell you what I carry in my bag. And if you guys have any tips, go ahead and put them in the comments section and share them with other people as well. Hi Deborah from Washington. How you doing? I'm glad you guys can hear me because, like I said, I'm in the middle of a redwood forest and I'm never quite sure what kind of reception I'll be getting to you. Can see and hear you just fine. Good. Thanks, Randy. So as you can see, I have this bag here. This is what I carry. Let me give you a better look. This camera bag is pretty big and bulky, but it's not too heavy. And you know, for me, it's worth it to be able to carry all the stuff I want so that I don't feel frustrated when I'm out someplace where I'm taking photographs and think, oh, I wish I had brought that. So I try and bring everything that I think I'm going to need. And usually I end up carrying more than I want. But that's better than not carrying enough of what I want. So the first thing you can notice is this tripod in the back. You want a tripod that's light. You don't want to have to lug around a heavy tripod. If you can, make it carbon fiber. You don't have to spend a lot on tripods. It's not necessary. But tripods are really good to have because if you don't get a sharp shot, then you can't really fix that later on in post-processing. You're kind of stuck with what you got. But some tripods, as you see, have a compass. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right here, where my finger is. And there's also a level. But a lot of digital cameras today have electronic levels and compasses. So you may not even need that. But you want a good ball head. This thing here that the camera sits on. You want a good ball head because you want to be able to put the camera on there quickly and take it off quickly and move it around to make sure you get a shot. Can I see? And okay, thanks Randy again. I guess you already told me it was, you can see and hear just fine. Good. On the outside of my bag, I also carry usually these things as well. I have a waterproof notebook so I can keep track of where I am and anything that I want to be able to remember later on. I carry, this is a brochure with a bunch of trails on it that I might need if I'm, when I'm on a trail to know where I'm going and how to get back. This is a bigger map of Redwood National and State Parks. By the way, I'm in, and actually I have to go back a little bit. I want to thank everyone for being here for the California State Parks Facebook Live program, which is every day at 3 o'clock. I also want to thank the Yurok for this beautiful land that we get to enjoy. And so I also carry with me, like I said, this large Redwood National and State Park map because it's got great information, it's a great map for trails. And I carry these pocket guides so I can help identify some of the things I'm taking photographs of, whether they're trees or mushrooms or amphibians, birds, anything that I think might come in handy for later on because, you know, I don't know all the birds. I don't know all the fungi. I'm trying to learn them all, but it's going to probably take a whole lifetime. I also usually carry water and something to eat along the way so I don't go hungry. Sometimes a cell phone is really good to bring along for various reasons, including the fact that you might need it and you actually might get reception. I'm getting it right here in the redwood forest. This is inside my bag. And on top, I have extra batteries, such as this one here. I have extra memory cards. I don't want to run out of those. I have lens cleaner. And this looks like a lipstick case, but it's actually a lens cleaner. And I have this as well to wipe off the lens with the lens fluid that I have. This is one of my cameras. This is telephoto. It also has a 1.4 teleconverter to extend the telephoto, which is right here. It's 1.4. The only thing to remember is that every filter you put on a lens cuts down on the light that gets to the sensor. So you got to be careful about how many. Sometimes you want to be able to slow it down. For example, if you want to be able to capture water going down a waterfall, you want to slow down the speed. Filters can be helpful for that as well. This is a battery grip. So this is the case. It has its own battery, this camera, and it has dual slots for my memory cards. So I already have 2 memory cards in there. I have a battery inside the camera and then one in the battery grip. The battery grip also allows me to take shots like this, as well as the camera itself like this, so I can get quick shots both ways. So you can see the shutter release here, and there's a shutter release here. The tripod, I also have a remote sensor release. So I can attach this to my camera and hold this while it's attached with this. Because what you want to be able to do is to prevent any vibration. Hi, Goldie from Pittsburgh. What you want to do is to prevent any vibration as much as possible. Like I said, you want absolutely sharp photographs because one thing that happens when you're taking photograph is blur. And that happens whether you're shooting photographs or whether you're even processing. So try and cut down on the vibration by using a tripod, by using a remote sensor release. You could also have the mirror up so that the mirror won't vibrate, but then you can't see through your LCD screen. So I don't like it for that reason. I want to be able to look at my LCD screen and know what it is that I'm taking a photograph of. I also have 2 other lenses. This one's a 17 by 50, but it has a much wider lens to allow more light in. So it could actually go down to a 2.8. Kim says, I get plenty of blurry photos. Well, work on it, Use a tripod. Maybe even get yourself a remote sensor release and see if you can sharpen those photographs. So this is great to be able to take close-ups with. Closer up. You also get good bokeh. I mean, if you can get good blurring behind the image that you're focusing on, and you can almost make it look 3-dimensional. Of course, it's really helpful to have lens hoods to help block the sunlight that might, be getting on the lens that you don't want. And then I have a fisheye lens, which I don't use as often, but of course you can get a a much wider image by doing so. It's just as good to have software so you can correct the distortion that comes from a fisheye. I have a UV lens. UV lens will help get rid of the ultraviolet so you don't have that hazy look on your photographs. Kim says, I have trouble with my tripod not holding things still when it's windy outdoors. I try hanging a heavy bag from it to help with that. That's true. Yeah, a lot of tripods will come with a hook underneath them, so you can hang something like a bag to help steady them. Very good, Kim. That's exactly right. And the other one I have is a macro lens. And a macro lens is good to be able to take close-ups of like flowers. See how it magnifies things. Kim asks, what's the longest lens you have? Do you recommend using a double lens? I'm fine with what I have. I have what I have is one that extends to 300 millimeters, and which is fine. And with the 1.4 teleconverter, it increases that focal length, so I can go even further. If I had the money, I would probably do. I do an 800, so I can get really close of something far away, like birds or whatever. But I'm not there yet. I don't want to spend that kind of money yet for a good. Because if you don't get a good lens, you can get all kinds of lenses. But if they're not good lenses, you kind of waste your money. A good lens can be very expensive. It can be more expensive than the camera body. So I just wait until I get enough money to get a good, decent lens to add to my collection. So I think that's about it. Last time I went over 10 minutes. I don't want to do that again. I'm already there. But if you guys have any comments or questions, are teleconverters worth the cost? Yeah, because they're not very expensive. But once again, don't forget every lens you use is going to cut down the light. But teleconverters aren't that expensive, and it's actually an inexpensive way to increase your telephoto lenses without having to spend a lot of money. Any other comments or questions? Oh, okay. So any other questions? All right. Well, if there are no other questions or comments, the only thing other I would suggest is learning how to, if you ever get the time, to print your own stuff, because the next step will be learning the art of printing. And if you can print your own, have control over that, and it's a lot of fun, by the way, then you can make your photographs even better after you process them appropriately. And by the way, remember, once again, try and, if you can, shoot in RAW. Kim, I think, told me last week that she shoots in RAW and JPEG, which is good. But in order to be able to get the best photographs with the most information that you can post-process with, that would be through shooting with RAW. And you can use your imagination and control what you have to get, the best of what you're looking for. All right, so that's it. If you guys have any comments, you can add later to that, and I could go back and answer questions. Kim says, if I get a 1.4 teleconverter, will I make my 300 millimeter lens a 600? No, that would be if you got a 2.0 teleconverter. So this isn't going to be. This would be more like a 420, something like that, with a 1.4. If you want to double it, you're going to have to get a 2.0. All right, we good? All right, you guys. Well, until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you stay safe and healthy. Don't forget, we do this every day at 3 o'clock, so there'll be one tomorrow as well, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Deborah says thanks. Thank you, Deborah. You guys have fun. Take care.